Hi everyone, welcome back to Hack the Platform. Today we're starting a new series on code apps, building apps using Claude Code or GitHub Copilot. In this series, we'll build a simple customer support assistant app step by step. But before we start building, we need to set up the environment and install all the prerequisites. In this video, I'll show you exactly what you need and how to configure it. And if you like this kind of content, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get started. So a quick overview of what's coming. As already mentioned today, prerequisites. In part 2, we'll be talking about the UI and how to publish an app. In part 3, we will add some connectors into the app. In part 4, we'll add Dataverse and then much more. Okay, first, let's start with the Visual Studio Code. The Visual Studio Code, this will be our main workspace. However, if you've ever worked with Claude Code or GitHub Copilot, this is not something you opened too often, but it makes still sense to use Visual Studio Code to see what type of things were generated for you and the code that was created in the background. Yeah. Apart from that, we will be using the Node.js. Node.js is something that we always need in these types of projects. It's already installed on my side. Yeah. Also, we will be using the Git. If you don't have it, just install it from here, but I'm pretty much sure you do. The GitHub command line interface, something that also makes sense to install. We will be using this as well. Then, the Claude Code. You can install the Claude Code using either Windows PowerShell or command line, depending on your operating system. Everything is written here. And as soon as you install it, you will get usually a message that some specific, let's say, path is not in your environment path variables. For that, you can go to your systems. And then let's say edit the system environment variables, open them here, find the path variables, edit, and you will need to add this local bin file. So as soon as you do that, after installing, you can do something like that. You can run Claude command in your command line interface. When you run the Claude code the first time, you will need to log in, and then you're good to go. Let's check. It should Claude version, get Claude CLI version. Do you want to proceed? Let's say yes. That is our Claude version. Yeah. So if you like Claude Code, please, you can use it. If you don't, if you want to use the GitHub Copilot, you can install it from here. Install GitHub Copilot. Again, the first time you install it, you will need to log in, and then you're good to go. And very important thing that we really need is the skills, Power Platform skills. Those are the modules, the plugins that we will be using for developing code apps, Canvas maybe apps, generative pages of model-driven apps, and also the Power Pages. They are all here. In order to install them, you can just simply take this and install in the Windows PowerShell. Let me run it again here. Everything will be installed. However, a very important thing and to take into account, if you have any problems with the version of your Power Platform command line interface, you don't need to install it separately. The plugins will install it and update it even for you. But if you ever have an error saying that, hey, could not get updated, or some specific errors, please make sure that you updated your .NET version. So that error usually appears somewhere here, that your Power Platform command line interface is the old version. Now let me show you how the error looks like. Something like that. If that is not found, and also actually the error is looks like, hey, there is an error with .NET XML, and so on and so forth. So please just update your .NET version and you're good to go. Yeah. So, and this is it. That's pretty much all that we need. As soon as we install all those prerequisites, we can already start using them. Yeah. As soon as you install these, everything starts working. You can already use those plugins. You can actually find those plugins inside your Claude Code. That's how you do it. For example, you can already have the different code apps preview plugins, as you can see it here. For example, Power Pages, and as you can see, there is a lot of different Power Pages plugins, or we can say Code Apps Preview. There are a number of tools where you can add connectors, Teams, Excel, add SharePoint connector. You can create a code app that we'll be using, and so on and so forth. So different tools available. Yeah. But before we actually start with Claude Code or GitHub Copilot, it makes sense also to generate the environment for us, and specifically the Claude MD file where you define how the Claude Code should behave, or in GitHub Copilot, there is Copilot instructions. You can also define how the GitHub Copilot, what it needs to do. You can generate it either manually, just simply copy pasting it from what I have from other things, or you can ask the Claude Code or GitHub Copilot to generate it for you. Let me start Copilot, for example, in this folder. That's how Copilot looks like. It will load the environments. Everything's cool. Everything's loaded. Now I can write the prompt, for example, generate content, and then return both files. Yeah, so what also makes sense is to generate your memory database, either for GitHub Copilot or Claude Code. Claude Code in most of the cases does this automatically. You can watch a lot of different videos how to do that. This is it. So at this point, you should have already Visual Studio Code, Node.js, Git, GitHub command line interface, updated .NET version, and certainly a repository that is configured for our purposes. And what I mean by that is this our repository with a number of different files available, and we will be doing everything in the Code Apps Customer Support Assistant. The link will be in the description. Now, so we'll move to the interesting part in the next one, building the UI and publishing the app, and make sure you subscribe, and see you in part 2. Bye.